That's the question. 13 to 7.
Talk Radio 702. Follow John Robbie on Twitter at 702 John Robbie.
All right, well, one of the facts of life in South Africa is if you criticize Israel in any shape or form, you watch out, because you get targeted, and it's happened to me, and basically how you decide, basically if it's worth giving your true views on the situation. And, you get accused of hating Jews, you get accused of hating Israel, of being anti-Semitic, and all that nonsense, when in fact it is absolutely the opposite. You hate what is being done to thousands of innocent people, and it never seems to end after decades of unfairness. All right, that is the situation I have. And now we have a deputy head of a Jewish school. He has stood up and has been lashed. And we've also had a petition by 500 Jewish South Africans. Well, let's find out why they've done it. One of them is Professor Graham Block, and he's professor of the School of Governance at Wits University. Prof, nice talking to you again, and good morning.
Good morning, John. Nice to talk to you.
Why did you sign the petition?
I think because one is that Israel should not be bombing anybody, let alone bombing like it's been bombing in Gaza. But the second is a call for tolerance.
You see, people would say, but what about people who are lobbing missiles into Israel? What about a call for tolerance there?
No, look, I think one is not in favor of what Hamas is doing. And the lobbing of missiles is a problem. But it's saying that where can we have influence, and that is, as Jewish South Africans, we need to raise our voice.
And what would happen to you and the other Jewish South Africans? Because it seems to me that, and part of your message is that you've basically said that you distance yourself from South African Jewish organizations who have blind support of Israel. What did you mean by that?
Well, I meant that I think Israel has become a danger to Jews rather than helping Jews, actually. And that's something that those who are in favor of Israel should think about. And just think about that there are some differences, and there are some people who are Jewish who think that what is happening in Israel today is not good.
You see, it seems to me that so many Jewish people present Israel as a victim, and yet at the moment they're not victims. They're one of the wealthiest countries in the world. They've got the strongest army in the world. They're being backed by the biggest power in the world. And somehow they don't seem to realize that they are now the oppressor in this particular situation. Is that fair? If I say that, I get accused of being anti-Semitic.
Look, you've got to stop bombing. You've got to stop bombing like we've seen in Gaza. And it's got nothing to do with tunnels. It's got nothing to do with missiles. We've seen the pictures on TV, actually, of what Gaza looks like today. And I think that's the question, is how do you defend yourself, which you're entitled to do, but how do you do it in a way that doesn't blow up everybody else? And how do you open up possibilities for discussion? And I don't think you're anti-Semitic, and I'm not anti-Semitic, certainly.
And in terms of the history, I mean, I look back on it, and what I've tried to do is to be objective, because the minute you're in a job like this, you get the propaganda machine on the one side, the propaganda telling you what the history is. So I've tried to look at it, and basically you cannot, despite everything that was done to the Jews, you cannot take a bunch of people and stick them in the middle of a tiny bit of land without being unfair to other people who've been there, and then to have a state that's only based for people of one particular religion, when millions of people from that state are actually of a different religion. It's simply not going to work fairly, is it?
Look, I avoid the discussions about history and about Jews, actually, because I think Jews in this country are very right-wing, even in Israeli terms. And I don't think they're going to be convinced. So I'm speaking out, but I'm very cautious about getting involved.
Sounds like you're scared. Sounds like you're scared there, Prof.
I'm a little bit afraid, quite frankly, and there are 500 Jews who've spoken out, and thank heavens 500 Jews have said what happens is not good enough.
You see, I look at it, I mean, I'm not Jewish, all right? But sounds crazy. Some of my best friends are Jewish. I went to a school with lots of Jewish people in it. I love Jewish people. I got Jewish mates, etc. But why can't the same happen that happened in South Africa, where we had the same arguments and people calling me anti-white and anti-Afrikaans and pro-black and other dreadful expressions that I'm not going to use here. And now you look back and we have one country where everybody is treated the same, one set of laws, and we're held up as an example to the world. Why can't the same happen in Israel, Prof?
No, I think the same should happen. I mean, I think the sides are much more at risk of not talking to each other. But I think that the same should happen in Israel as happened in South. I think there's a lot to learn from South Africa.
Do you think your protest has made a difference?
I think protest has helped. I understand at least what is going on in Gaza. But it's not the protests of Jews, sadly.
All right. Okay, Prof, thank you very much for talking to us. Nice chatting to you.
Thank you very much, John.
Okay, Professor Graham Block. There you are. Even he sounds, unhappy talking about the situation. It's 7 minutes to 7.
Zero limits when it comes to innovation.